They were in travail, as the scripture of God has said. And he sealed up the very heart of it, the underworld. And he broke its, the underworld's strong bows completely. And when all the powers had seen him, they fled, so that he might bring you, wretched one, up from the abyss, and might die for you as a ransom for your sin. He saved you from the strong hand of the underworld. But you, yourself, difficult though it be, give to him your fundamental assent with even so much as a hint that he may take you up with joy. Now the fundamental choice, which is humility of heart, is the gift of Christ. A contrite heart is the acceptable sacrifice. If you humble yourself, you will be greatly exalted. And if you exalt yourself, you will be exceedingly humbled. My son, guard yourself against wickedness, and do not let the spirit of wickedness cast you down into the abyss, for he is mad and bitter. He is terrifying, and he casts everyone down into a pit of mire. It is a great and good thing not to love fornication, and not even to think of the wretched matter at all, for to think of it is death. It is not good for any man to fall into death. For a soul which has been found in death will be without reason. For it is better not to live than to acquire an animal's life. Protect yourself, lest you are burned by the fires of fornication. For many who are submerged in fire are its servants, whom you do not know as your enemies. O my son, strip off the old garment of fornication, and put on the garment which is clean and shining, that you may be beautiful in it. But when you have this garment, protect it well. Release yourself from every bond, so that you may acquire freedom. If you cast out of yourself the desire whose devices are many, you will release yourself from the sense of lust. Listen, O soul, to my advice. Do not become a den of foxes and snakes, nor a hole of serpents and asps, nor a dwelling place of lions, or a place of refuge of basilisk snakes. When these things happen to you, O soul, what will you do? For these are the powers of the adversary. Everything which is dead will come into you through them, the powers. For their food is everything which is dead, and every unclean thing. For when these are within you, what living thing will come into you? The living angels will detest you. You were a temple, but you have made yourself a tomb. Cease being a tomb, and become again a temple, so that uprightness and divinity may remain in you. Light the light within you. Do not extinguish it. Certainly, no one lights a lamp for wild beasts or their young. Raise your dead who have died, for they lived and have died for you. Give them life. They shall live again. For the tree of life is Christ. He is wisdom. For he is wisdom. He is also the Word. He is the life, the power, and the door. He is the light, the angel, and the good shepherd. Entrust yourself to this one who became all for your sake. Knock on yourself as upon a door, and walk upon yourself as on a straight road. For if you walk on the road, it is impossible for you to go astray. And if you knock with this one wisdom, you knock on hidden treasures. For since he Christ is wisdom, he makes the foolish man wise. He wisdom is a holy kingdom and a shining robe. For it wisdom is much gold, which gives you great honor. The wisdom of God became a type of fool for you, so that it might take you up, O foolish one, and make you a wise man. And the life died for you when he was powerless, so that through his death, he might give life to you who have died. Entrust yourself to reason and remove yourself from animalism. For the animal which has no reason is made manifest. For many think that they have reason, but if you look at them attentively, their speech is animalistic. Give yourself gladness from the true vine of Christ. Satisfy yourself with the true wine, in which there is no drunkenness nor error. For it the true wine marks the end of drinking, since there is usually in it what gives joy to the soul and the mind, through the Spirit of God. But first, nurture your reasoning powers before you drink of it the true wine. Do not pierce yourself with the sword of sin. Do not burn yourself, O wretched one, with the fire of lust. Do not surrender yourself to barbarians like a prisoner, nor to savage beasts which want to trample upon you. For they are as lions which roar very loudly. Be not dead lest they trample upon you. You shall be man. It is possible for you through reasoning to conquer them. But the man who does nothing is unworthy of being called rational man. The rational man is he who fears God. He who fears God does nothing insolent. And he who guards himself against doing anything insolent is one who keeps his guiding principle. Although he is a man who exists on earth, he makes himself like God. But he who makes himself like God is one who does nothing unworthy of God, according to the statement of Paul, who has become like Christ. For who shows reverence for God while not wanting to do things which are pleasing to him? For piety is that which is from the heart, and piety from the heart characterizes every soul which is near to God. The soul which is a member of God's household is one which is kept pure, and the soul which has put on Christ is one which is pure. It is impossible for it to sin. Now where Christ is, there sin is idle. Let Christ alone enter your world, and let him bring to naught all powers which have come upon you. Let him enter the temple which is within you, so that he may cast out all the merchants. Let him dwell in the temple which is within you, and may you become for him a priest and a Levite, entering in purity. Blessed are you, O soul, if you find this one in your temple. Blessed are you still more if you perform his service. But he who will defile the temple of God, that one God will destroy. For you lay yourself open, O man, if you cast this one out of your temple.